Is Norway striker Erling Haaland possibly England's worst nightmare, JJ?
He is possibly their worst nightmare. And the thing with Haaland is that we know he's amazing, but how come, even though defenders know he's amazing, he's still able to gain separation from them? How is he able to get into space? You can see him do it in the World Cup, so you think he'd be marked. But look here, this is what happens. There's Brazil versus Norway. This is what England have to look out for. So, Gabriel is tight to Haaland. That's what you think you'd want to have, because you want to know where he is, maybe be shirt tight so he can't get away from you. You know he's the danger man. As the play progresses down the left, what you see is he starts to just start walking around a bit like Messi. You think he'd be in the last line all the time. He started in this thing where he just wanders around and sticks where the play goes around him, and there's a reason for it. So when the play continues down here, it means that he's got a bit of separation, so he can make the run, he can time it with when the cross comes in to either go one way around the defender or around the other. You never know what he's going to do. What he ends up doing here, because the ball is end up slowing down, he turns into his right foot to try and cross it in. So he gets a bit closer to Gabriel. So he's kind of tight to him. He's maybe not as tight as you want to be. Gary Neville said he thinks you should be shirt tight to him straight away. But he's got a bit of a run on him here. What Haaland does is this trick he always does this 1,000 times, and England defenders will know this, but you can't really stop it. He goes one way to go the other, so he drags you just 1 yard to snip in front, and he's so fast to accelerate, so massive, that the time he gets that, that's the one chance you need. Great header. So this is the kind of thing that England need to be aware of, is that he'll do these subtle movements, so they need to get shirt tight to him, which might then mean they're dragged away because he's moving to little weird spaces, stuff like that. So other things he does, again, loads of space. He's finding himself on the edge of the box here, which is something that he doesn't tend to do, I see in the Premier League. He doesn't tend to do this, but for Norway, he's been doing this. So when he has the ball here, Brazil kind of have to keep their line, so it kind of makes sense that they're there, but obviously someone's gonna have to go tight. But they're not sure exactly who. So when he gets it, the two defenders aren't sure who to jump onto him. Someone needs to, and he ends up being able to take a shot. But what you see here is something very clever, and Wayne Rooney put this out on the BBC coverage for the game last evening. So here's Haaland. He takes his first touch on his right foot, second on his left. It's a bit of confusion to set himself up for the shot. But what you see is by doing this and pulling the defender towards you, you know that when you line up like this, the defender's going to have to take a big step, which should open up his legs. And so Rooney was saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used to teach him this in coaching. So he probably taught Haaland back when he played together. What was the club he played at? It was called
Norway.
Yeah, I think it was FC Molde. I
was just joking. It was Molde, yeah.
The defender opens up his legs, he shoots through it. That's how he finishes here. So you know you get to get tight to him, but if he's going to line up a shot, you can't open up your legs because he's going to try and aim through you. So another way you can't really stop him, even though you're trying to.
Right.
He's very good.
Perhaps it's better not to be there.
Perhaps you should just go home, perhaps, and forfeit the game. Now, here's Haaland again doing that thing he does, but he's not playing on the last line, just standing in space. And again, I think it's so he can time his run. So I don't know exactly. I'd like to ask him if I've got a chance, but Norway are playing this lovely ball inside Oscar Bob. I think it's to Odegaard making the run inside, and there's other things going on at how they pulled apart this defence here. But when it comes in, again, he's got a bit of separation, so the defender knows he's there, but he should be marked by the central midfielder. But this keeps happening, that they're not passing it on. And you see this a few times with England, with Elliot Anderson, a bit of confusion with him and Mark Gahey especially, where they're not sure who's passing on when. So when he passes this player on, Haaland should be getting marked. He can make either one of these two runs, but the central midfielder's too late. The other defender has to come across to try and deal with this. And that means that, again, he's in space, even though it's Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to have to deal with him. And also the threat in behind, running in behind. So England are going with a high press at the moment. They're trying to play quite aggressive and high, which means obviously the back line's going to be higher. If at any point there's not enough pressure on the first man on the ball, it means they can get a ball over the top. So this has happened a couple times already with different teams. Haaland's going to be looking for this ball over the top. But here's just one more example. So this is Norway on a quick attack here. They're trying to break. You might see this against England quite a lot. So as they're breaking forward, the ball goes out to the left. You see Haaland is making sure that he's not fully in the last line yet. He's trying to time it so he can time his acceleration to be at full speed by the time the ball comes into the box. That's what I think he's doing.
Yeah.
He also can see there's going to be an overlapping run here. He knows that's what's going to happen because Nusa's coming inside. So he doesn't go as fast as he could do yet. He's not trying to sprint to the end. As the ball goes wide, overlap comes in, he gets further forward, and by this point he knows that the overlap's going to align, so you can see he's exactly in line with the winger, who's the fullback, so he can get into the box exactly where the ball's going to go so he can score. So everything he's doing is absolutely perfect movement. And there's certain players in the world that have this aura around them where they manage to have space even though they don't. There's players like Messi, Mbappe, Haaland. So it doesn't matter what they do, they're going to have these problems. But there is one other thing I've noticed with England, what keeps happening against them is teams like DR Congo and Mexico especially, they're just playing from side to side. So because they're trying to press them really high, maybe that's why they're playing quite compact, and then they just get shifted around, and that's where they're finding people at the back post. So Haaland finds space here. This is Mexico. They've gone from the left to the right, and then they end up putting the ball into the box, but there's a bit of a scuffle, and here Jimenez's header that hits the post, right? But the thing that's interesting about this one is that they have moved from the left to the right, and it's players maybe not tracking the fullback overlap. So you see Gordon's getting in here, and Nico O'Reilly's got to deal with this here. Sometimes the wide winger is not tracking the man, and they're getting the free man so that they can put the ball into the box. Again, that's where Haaland will try and score. But you saw DR Congo. So when they're playing from the left-hand side here, they switch over to the right. There's multiple examples of this. And here is, I think it's Rashford, doesn't track his man. Wan-Bissaka overlaps and gets forwards, happened a few times in the game, but you also had it on the other side of the pitch during it as well. And by the time they get here, not following one man means that one man has to deal with two, which means you've got other problems because other players have to come across to try and adjust it. By the time the ball goes into the box, the striker is in position to be able to tap it in. He just hits the outside of the post here. That could have been a second goal for DR Congo.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that England will probably have to work out with, is that Norway, I'd imagine, will try and do the same thing. They'll switch from side to side, try and find Haaland in the middle. Haaland will be able to get in behind when they're trying to press them high.
And Haaland won't miss.
And he won't miss.
Yeah.
He is their worst nightmare,
Yeah.
apart from monsters, but he is a monster.
Do you think also the only way for England to win this game is to, this is going to sound silly, score more goals than Norway do? Because I just feel like Norway are going to score a goal. I don't think England can keep them out.
I think you always have to score more goals than the opposition to win a game, Joe.
Yes.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Amy Lawrence and James Horncastle. With the latest transfer news and insights on every Premier League story that matters, theathletic.com puts you inside football, and you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.